Hey, it's Kevin Williams from the Gaithers here, and I'm so glad to get to share a couple minutes with you. I've been the guitar player for this amazing group for 32 years, if you can believe that, and it's opened up the doors for a lot of other great things in my life. I've gotten to lead bands on video tapings and be a part of great record sessions all through these years, and the Lord just keeps opening up doors. Somebody was asking me about the charity that I always talk about, and I don't get to give the history of it very often, and so I thought I'd take just a couple minutes and do that. The charity is called Kevin's Kids, and it's a door that God opened for me a little over 11 years ago. I grew up in a beautiful town, Russell Springs, Kentucky. It's in south central Kentucky on Lake Cumberland. Small town, and grew up in rural life, as you would expect there. Russell County, Kentucky. It's just the most beautiful place. And growing up, I had two hardworking parents in the home, and they loved me and they encouraged me, but they just didn't make a lot of money. I grew up in a little trailer park there, just about a mile from Main Street in Russell Springs, and didn't have much, but I seemed to have all I needed. Of course, the culture was different back then. This is in the 70s, and so we had church family. I grew up in a little church, about 40 people. Wouldn't trade that for anything in the world. I learned to love Jesus there, and I love people, and I love music, and that all came from that upbringing. So we had church family. We had neighbors, that could look out after you. I remember I needed a coat one year, and some of our neighbors had provided a coat for me that I thought came from my mom and dad. And in fact, I found out later on when I was in my 40s that it came from a caring neighbor. Those times were numerous in my life, and God always sent somebody at the right time in my life to put in my path, to direct me and kind of head me in the right direction. He says that He will direct our paths, and I believe that. I've seen it in my own life. So fast forward, I moved here when I was 22 years old to Nashville to pursue music as a career, and of course I had a calling on my life at the same time, and so God's blessed that tremendously. And I had a dream and a desire to help kids like I was, kids who are in the poverty column, because that's where I was. The state statistics says in Kentucky that over 20% of the kids in that state are in the poverty column. Kentucky's the 5th highest in the nation in childhood poverty. The statistic in my home county, Russell County, Kentucky, is even higher. It's about 26%. And I wanted to help make a difference in kids' lives in some way, and I didn't know what that was. I knew shoes, coats, that kind of thing might make a difference in a kid's life. I didn't realize that something as simple as a toothbrush might make a difference, or a hairbrush, or deodorant, something like that. I had underestimated the scope of the needs. And as we began to work in what is now called Kevin's Kids, I began to become educated about that. So 11 years ago, I was invited by my 3rd grade music teacher, Miss Jonelle Smith. Got a phone call one day. She said, "Would you like to come back to your hometown and do a concert?" I was so excited to get the invitation. And I told her this idea that I had. I'd love to raise some money for kids. I had poured this idea out to Vernie McGahey. He's a former state senator in Kentucky and well-loved, man of great reputation there. And he had told me a year before, he said, "Well, I'll help you pray about that idea." And so he did. And we committed it to prayer, and then got this phone call. So I met with some of the community leaders, and we decided to have a concert, raise some money in 2014. Our goal was $10,000, and over 20,000 came in that first year for the kids. We said, what do we do with the money? How do we get it to the kids and make sure it's accounted for, and make sure that every dollar is maximized? And we found what's called the Family Resource Centers that are set up throughout the state of Kentucky within the school system. Each school has a resource center and a manager for that system, for that center. And It was set up in the 90s, and it's been sort of defunded through the years till it's basically unfunded at this point. The structure is still there. And so we're able to use these resource centers and the managers to do things they couldn't do before. Things way beyond backpacks and that sort of thing. They're able to get in the lives of these kids because they know the families and they know the kids, they know the needs, and they're able to help them with whatever their specific need is. We're even at this point able to do glasses for some kids and dental work for some kids that need it, that kind of thing. That's tremendous. And you don't know what that does in the life of a child, not only from a self-esteem standpoint, but just from the standpoint of knowing that someone else has got my back, right? Knowing that someone has seen my need and cares and has provided for me, and they're investing in me. That changes everything. We know from research that when a child feels like they have a solid foundation, someone has them, they're protected, they do better in their test scores, they risk more in life, they go further. We can track all of this back to a solid foundation with somebody that's pouring into them. And so we wanted to be that. I had that along my path, and today's culture is so different than the 1970s. It's more isolated, it's polarized, and we go through life in a regimented way. We're on our phone, and we don't see the needs that are all around us. This has become a mission field for me. So in order to make a difference in their lives, we use these resource center managers to get in their lives. And then when we do that, the B part of the equation is we're able to plant ideas in these children's lives so that they can become productive adults. So we plant ideas like you matter, and we're investing in you because you're worth it. You have ideas and an imagination, and you have creativity that you can build your life within. So let's foster that. Let's hear your ideas. Let's show you what is possible with your life. And these resource managers help attend to that, not only meeting the needs, but growing productive adults out of these children. We've seen it time and time again. The kids that were in first grade, the first year we began the program, are graduating seniors this year. And so it's been very fruitful. Over the course of the 10 years, we had 2 years where we couldn't do this during COVID. And even within that, altogether, it's been some $600,000 that's been raised, come in from people just like yourself who said, hey, we want to get involved. How do we do that? All the money stays in the area, stays in our county there, and it all goes to the kids. Nobody gets anything. I don't get anything out of this, okay? What I get out of it is seeing these kids grow up and do something incredible with their lives. So we call it Kevin's Kids, and all the money it comes in through a church treasury, the First Baptist Church there in Russell Springs, which is where we're going to have the concert. I do an annual concert, and that's going to be Saturday night, April 12th. And I'll have a lot of my local friends will be in the choir behind me. We'll be singing that night. My guitar teacher, Larry Beasley, from my youth when I was 12 years old, he and I will do a duet, Matthew Holt will be there. Michael Rousey will be there. We have a beautiful bluegrass trio from Bethel University is going to be there, and part of that Renaissance program, and they just have musical excellence. You're going to love them. We have the kids that are going to be singing that night. There's a quartet that is in music ministry over 60 years. I think this is their 66th year, and I'm fond of these guys. They're called the Crossroads Quartet, and they are world-class. You're going to love them. And I have a special guest coming on Saturday night, and I love this guy, and I know you do too. Mark Lowry is coming. This is going to be big for our county, and we're just going to have a great time. Mark feels the cause deeply. We've talked about it, and he's already made a donation. I think that's so cool. So I know you're going to have a good time. This is basically a celebration of all of the efforts to come together for these kids. There's no ticket price or anything. We will take an offering that night, and all the money goes to the kids. So come and be with us. If you can at all possibly get to Russell Springs, Kentucky, we'd love to have you. But if not, there's going to be a link here on how to donate, and you go to rs1.church, click give, select the amount, and then click Kevin's Kids. That's all you have to do, and the money will get there. Amazing things are happening. And then probably the greater part of all of this is that I get to speak to these kids in assembly programs from time to time and one-on-one, and teach them how to build a life on something that never changes. And that, of course, is the Word of God. So privileged to be a part of this. I can't believe my journey has been over 40 years of professional music, playing the guitar for gospel music projects, and of course the Gaithers for all this time. That's so wonderful, but it's because of many, many people who God sent my way. So we're trying to be that for these kids, and you can help. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you'll be with us Saturday night. If not, send a donation. Whatever God tells you to do is great, and it'll be put to good use. God bless you. Thank you, my friend.